that I'm always going to have the audio mixer tab readily available, but it'd be nice if they can make the audio mixer button a button on the left panel here. I get why they wanted to do this layout, and so you can't show both at the same time, because this is an extensive type of configuration panel here, but they need to have that button readily accessible. Moving on to the Still Images tab, we have the area where we can load up images to our switcher. No longer do we need to take the SD card out and load images that way. We can just do it all through this software here. This is where we can change what slot still 1 or still 2 looks to, and this can easily be changed through macros as well. Moving on to the Streaming tab, this is where we can put in and paste in our streaming key. We can change the quality of our stream. The one glaring thing that's missing here is the ability to use custom RTMP servers here. But you have to use one of their services they list on their drop-down menu here. Now, all the major services are here, such as Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. One of the things that is missing is, let's say, Amazon Shopping or Amazon Streaming. So it'd be nice to have the ability to choose your own custom RTMP server. Sometimes I want to have a local RTMP server to stream to as well. Going into the play and record, this is where we can do some of our basic settings for playback of video. There is no way that I can see to load up videos through this interface, not like the still images. So that would be a nice addition to be able to load up videos this way. Finishing up on the Settings tab, this is where we of our multi-view, change the input settings of our mic inputs from mic to line. We have our source selection here. Most of these are color output settings. And then we have our auxiliary input, where you can change it from NDI to SD card to USB inputs. The rest of it is the output settings for the switcher itself. And one nice change is here is the HDMI 2. We can change it. Before it was just set to multi-view only, but we can change it to any of the inputs or preview and program outputs as well. And then we can change the button brightness here, and I see it changing on my switcher itself, and we can do the fan control as well. So this is a very convenient piece of software that has made my life a lot easier since the addition of this piece of software. So this is an overview of the GoStream software, which has made my life so much easier. Here we are in Companion. I'm running version 3.2.2 on my Mac. I've already downloaded and installed the GoStream Companion plugin or module. You basically have to put it in the right directory, and so follow the directions on where to put it. But once you have it installed or copied over to the right place and you start up Companion, you should be able to see it here in your add connections here. If you don't see it, that means you didn't copy it into the right place. But once you do, then you can add your connection, and basically you just have to put in the IP address. Now remember, Companion communicates with your different devices through the network. So it's important that you get your IP address of your GoStream switcher. Once we've established our connection, we'll have a green checkbox here. Now we can start creating our buttons. Let's go to our Buttons tab, and now you can see that we have our presets for our GoStream deck. They pretty much give us every type of preset that we need, with the exception of a few things, and I'll get to that in a moment. But we want to do a jump cut between input 1 and 2. We can simply drag and drop input 1 and 2 into our buttons layout. Let's go into our web view here of Companion, and you can see we have a simple jump cut between the two inputs. But let's say we want to do a transition between the two, a mixed transition. So the way we do that is we want to set input 1 as the preview, and then perform an auto transition, or set input 2 as the preview and perform an auto transition. And this is where they're missing a preset for that. You would think they would have a preset for that, but they don't. But we'll have to do a little bit more work. So let's clear our buttons layout. Let's go to our preview, set input 1 as our preview, input 2 as our preview. And again, we're going to do a little bit more work here. So let's add an additional action here. Let's search for auto and say perform auto transition. Let's go to input 2, and we're going to do the same thing, perform auto transition. So now as we go to our button layout here, it's performing the auto transition. As you can see, it's doing it in a 1 second transition. So we want to speed that up. So we're going to have to do some additional work here. And I'm going to search for rate. Say transition rate, and we're going to set the transition rate to 0.5. And you need to drag and drop this before you perform your auto transition. So now we set the 0.5 and then do the auto transition. Let's do the same for input 2. Change the change rate. Make sure we set 0.5, and you can put it above perform auto transition. You can actually do it before you set your preview source, but you just have to make sure it's before perform auto transition for this to work. So let's go into our web buttons here. And now you can see we have a faster transition. So this has been a quick demo of the companion integration with our GoStream Deck. The desktop software makes the GoStream Deck a more complete package. I haven't been able to recommend it up to this point because of the missing software, but now I can. They've really made the software as straightforward as possible. Inherently, this type of gear is not the simplest, and there's a bit of a learning curve, but I'm happy to say that this piece of software doesn't complicate things, and it actually helps you get through some of the clunkiness when trying to do all the settings in the unit itself. Now, the companion integration was a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting that, but now that it's here, I can see this being used in more bigger productions as well. In the near future, I'm going to be doing a video on using the GoStream Deck with my A10 Mini Pro, giving me a total of 7 inputs using the companion software. But overall, I really like what the updates they've released in this time. Now, I'm really excited to see what OC will release in the future as well. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Consider hitting that subscribe button. Until the next one, see ya.